friends. Welcome to the Creative Impact Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Caldwell, and I'm so happy you're here. Each episode, I take some time to chat with fellow artists about life, faith, and the impact of the arts. Well, Goldie, welcome to the Creative Impact Podcast. I'm so excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So I'm here today with Goldie Mims, and you are a recent graduate of Belhaven University. So you graduated, was it in 2024?
Yes, class of 2024. Yeah, so just 1 year removed.
Nice. That's so fun. And I love the fact that we got to meet at Project Dance Houston when you came and stayed at my house.
Yeah, that was so sweet.
Yeah, it was such a fun time, and it was so sweet. I know, so Carly Dunbar brought like a group of you guys to come to Project Dance Houston, and yeah, it was just so special to get to host, because I feel like both Ben and I have been the dancers staying at other people's homes, you know, so It was really fun to kind of be on the other end of it and get to know you guys a little bit. And yeah, curious what that was like from your perspective coming to Houston.
That was such a fun experience. I can't believe that was already like 2 years ago at this point. But yeah, I had so much fun going to Project Dance. It was so cool to connect with different like Christian artists and just be in that space, in that atmosphere. Got to meet a lot of cool people. So that was such a fun weekend.
Yes. And so was that when you got connected up with Enoch Contemporary Ballet as well?
Yeah, so I knew Bess. She was my counselor at Ballet Mag, like,
oh, cool.
I want to say like 6 years ago. And then I hadn't seen her at all in like a very long time. And then that was when I was like, oh, hey, and bumped into her. So that was what really kind of catapulted me into the, like, oh, I think I want to audition for Enoch. So yeah, definitely have Project Dance to thank for that.
That is so cool. I love the connections that happen there, and, you know, just, again, how God kind of brings, like, people into our story and into our lives at different points. But speaking of, we are currently celebrating 30 years of dance at Belhaven University, which is so exciting. And I know that's kind of how, obviously, we got connected while you were a student there at Belhaven. And I love just the legacy, and it was super cool how they did like a 30-year reunion this past fall and kind of getting to just see like the generations. Yeah, super cool. So I'm so excited that you are officially part of the Belhaven family and legacy as well, and excited to kind of hear what the more recent experiences, I guess, in the dance department. Yeah, so super fun. So yay, Belhaven. So do you want to just introduce yourself and share a little bit about what you're up to now?
Yeah, so I'm Goldie, obviously.
Yay!
And I am currently living in Tennessee and dancing with Enoch Contemporary Ballet. I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, and danced for, from the time I was 3 to 18 in Jacksonville.
That's incredible.
So yeah, I lived there my whole like childhood, and then ended up moving from Jacksonville to Belhaven. And that was when, that was in 2020. So yeah, right at the end of COVID and all those things, moved to Jackson and started my dance degree there, and was there until last spring, and then moved to Tennessee from there. So I've been doing a lot. I feel like I've done dance in like every type of way. Like I did a lot of ballet, especially in high school. I was like really into classical ballet, but always was like, oh, I think I like contemporary a lot too. And then college, it was like modern. I only want to do modern. And then now it's kind of like the best of both worlds, because I do a little bit of both. So that's been really fun. And so I've been living in Tennessee last year, and we'll be again next year, just teaching, dancing, performing, touring around. So it's been a really sweet year.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And we'll probably get back to your kind of growing up years and training, but I am curious what that was like coming into Belhaven in 2020. Like fall of 2020, that's wild. Just to think about like different experiences. And so were you guys did go back in person, right, in the fall?
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
go
So the
back. So you were going for the
spring,
first time, but yeah.
yeah. So the spring they cut short, and then in
Okay.
the fall we went in person. So I lived on campus and everything, and we just wore masks a lot, like
Okay. Yeah.
everywhere, even like outside, all the things. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was
Everyone's
definitely a
just
lot to
wearing
get
masks all
used
the time.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, especially while dancing, it was getting used to
Oof.
that and like building up your lung capacity, like for sure. And
Yeah.
so that was definitely interesting meeting new people and being like, what do you even look like? I don't know. Like, I haven't seen like this half of your face yet. I had
Right.
a lot of people like, what do you even look like? And I would take off their mask and I would take off my mask and be like, they would be like, oh, that is not how I expected you to look at all. I'm like, what does that mean? Like,
It's hilarious.
so
Yeah, what does that mean exactly? Like, how did
yeah,
you picture me? I don't
right,
know. So
right.
funny.
It's definitely a very interesting time to start college for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. When you're meeting so many new people, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's just such a pivotal moment in life. So, yeah, I can only imagine what that felt like. But I feel like maybe the mask while dancing, hopefully, it just improved like your capacity and endurance and all of those things in the long
yes,
run. But yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
crazy. Yeah. And then
yeah.
when we're kind of the mask restrictions or whatever you want to call it, um, things like kind of lifted, when did you guys get to stop wearing
Yeah.
masks?
So we wore them my entire freshman year and then sophomore year up until spring break. So I remember being home on spring break and getting an email that we didn't have to wear masks anymore and like celebrating like it was such a big deal. So it was about
Yes.
a year and like 3/4 or so of
Okay. Okay.
masks.
Wow.
But yeah.
Just, it feels like such I don't know, almost like a different lifetime in a way, like
Yes,
that
it
whole
does.
season. So it's crazy. And then, so then you would have graduated in the class of 2020 for high school,
Yes. Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like?
Yeah, that was interesting. I was homeschooled, so I didn't quite
Okay.
have a lot of like, I'm losing, all of these in-person experiences because I didn't really
Yes.
go to school.
Right.
But I definitely, my dance experience was really affected. And so that was really hard. It's because, especially when you're like a student in high school or like growing up, you work all year for like one big show instead of having so many little
Right.
performances. And so I remember being really sad to lose this big finale of like my senior year of high school that, we had been working on
Right.
these dances for so long, for months. And then it was just like, bye, they're all gone. Like, never
Ah,
doing them. So it really
right.
taught me a lot about like appreciating things like while they last and really like taking advantage of every rehearsal and like what does dance mean if there's never an ending performance? Like, is it still worth
Yeah.
it? Or is that like all that I'm really dancing for? And then also feeling the need for closure after that was really strong. Like I have to
Yeah.
finish things.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to like end of semesters at Belhaven, everyone would be like, oh, it's just the last class, let's skip it and like, do whatever. I'm like, no, I gotta like put the period on the semester and like do these
Yes.
finale things or else like I don't want to go back to that. So yeah, definitely it's interesting how much that shaped kind of like my perspective on things of like
Mm,
not having that finish to high
yeah.
school. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really is it kind of fascinating to think about how it impacts us in different ways.
Yeah.
And that makes complete sense to think about like, okay, it's nice to have closure and also, yeah, kind of wrestling with what is kind of the purpose of dance and why am I in this and all of those questions. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so interesting. Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
your perspective, your
Yeah.
experience in that whole season. I know, like, at that point, I was teaching dance at a high school, and yeah, just kind of hearing like the flip side of for the
Yeah.
students what that would have been like not having that final show, and yeah, just
Right.
a crazy time. But I'm
Oh, crazy
grateful
time.
we are on the other side of it,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. I think we got
all the
it.
things that the Lord has taught us through it, and yeah,
Yes,
grown.
absolutely,
So yeah,
absolutely.
so now let's kind of like backtrack even more to growing up and a review of art and dance and creativity as a child?
Yeah. So I would say every single person in my family is very artistic in some way, which
Hmm.
has been really fun because I never had that like, I want to dance and but my parents don't really get it kind of a thing. And
Yeah.
so that was really sweet because my mom, she loves to like paint and do all those kind of things. She's very creative, and
Yeah.
then all of my older sisters danced for a very long time, and
That's so
so
cool.
it's just kind of like it's Goldie's turn. I think
Oh,
I
I
started when I was
love
like
it.
3, so I honestly don't remember a time the dance was removed from my life because even when I wasn't dancing, it was just such a part of like Mims family culture. Like we all
Yes.
dance, we're all creative in some way. And so that has been really sweet because like even just pursuing dance and to the point where I am now, like my parents have been really supportive and
Hmm.
understanding of it, and especially how dance can be used as worship and as ministry. Like that is something that I have not ever had to explain to them. Like they get it and they've seen that with my older
Mm.
sisters and the way they danced, and then just my whole upbringing doing like worship dance and dance ministry and stuff like that, and then doing that in Belhaven, doing that now, like that is something that like they've seen and they've been like tremendously supportive of. So that has been,
Oh, that is
yeah,
so
something I'm
cool.
super grateful for.
Love how yeah, that your sisters also are involved in dance and like so fun to get to grow up with that and watching, like looking up to them and getting to
Yeah.
see them. And I think you had mentioned that you also got to take classes from your sisters growing up and stuff
Yes.
like that. What
Yeah.
was that like?
Yeah, I think I took a class from, I have 4 older sisters, and I think I took a class from all of them at some point. And so it was interesting because, like, my relationships at home, the kind of like sassy younger sister, like, relationship where you're like, don't tell me what to do kind of thing. And then getting into class and having to be like, everyone calls you Miss Gretchen, and you're just Gretchen. Like, like, so learning how to, like, respect them and honor them in class.
Yeah,
And so that was a lot of fun though to like learn from them.
that's really sweet. I love that. And now are some of your sisters still in the dance world as well?
Yeah, so my oldest sister, she has a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in dance, and she owns a dance studio back in Jacksonville. So that's really cool, really sweet. And then a lot of my siblings have kids now, and their little kids take dance, which is really sweet. So they like
Yes, like
do
the next
competition dance.
generation.
Yes, yeah.
I
A lot
love it.
of them dance at my oldest sister's studio, so that's really fun to go see their little performances and stuff for all of them.
So
Yeah.
sweet. Get to be Aunt Goldie and go
Yes.
like see the performances and visit. And I'm sure
Yeah.
they're just like, I'm sure they love getting to see you dance if they get the opportunity or just know
Yeah.
like she dances too. So that's
Yeah.
super fun.
So
I love just
sweet.
that family legacy and kind of the tradition there.
Hmm.
And like you said, how cool is it that you got to see your sisters using dance for worship as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like it
Yeah.
wasn't even really like a conscious choice, more like this is what we
Yeah.
do. So
Oh yeah,
that's
for
cool.
sure. It was like this is what we do, but then never like a I'm being forced into this. Like so much love and passion for it. So very
That's
sweet
really
mix of both.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
that. So I'm curious, why did you choose to pursue your degree in dance at Belhaven, or just like
Yeah.
generally? And then what specifically drew you to Belhaven?
Yeah. So I knew I wanted to keep dancing after high school and keep with it, with the goal of dancing professionally. But I honestly didn't ever plan to go to college. And,
Yeah.
and it was one of those things where it just had to have been God. Like there was no
Mm,
way that I would have done it had it not been the Lord's will for me. And so my senior year of high school, I had a couple random injuries that made auditions impossible, and I missed out on a lot of stuff. And it ended up being between the injuries, having me miss some auditions, and then like COVID shutting everything down. The Belhaven Dance Department audition was like perfectly sandwiched in between when I could come back to dance from my injury and then like I think 2 weeks after that, like Belhaven kind of shut down and everything shut down. So
Wow.
it ended up
Yeah.
being like the only
It was
one of the
perfect
only things.
window.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't even know like how perfect it was at the time, but it ended up being like pretty much the only thing I could audition for, and the only thing I
Hmm.
went to in person. And my mom was really like, I think you should try this. Like, I think this would be really sweet and good for you. And I was like, whatever. Like, I just kind of went because I was like, I don't have anything else planned, so I better just go and try. And then it was one of those things where getting into the space and getting into those classes, I was like, I love this. Like, this feels so right. So that was really sweet because again, it just had to have been God. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. It's so interesting how we can look back and kind of see those, I don't know, moments that you don't really realize are going to shape the next like
Yeah.
season or whatever. And then it's like,
Right,
wow,
right.
that actually like the Lord had his hand in that. So yeah. Now thinking about your time at Belhaven, I'm curious to hear what your experience was like and yeah, kind of what the current dance department vibe is and
Yeah.
culture and all of that.
Yeah. I had such a wonderful experience at Belhaven. I'm like so tremendously grateful for. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go to school out of state was to kind of just be pushed and challenged to like try new things and get out of my comfort zone a little bit and not just be like, well, I can just go home and, I have home to
Right.
go to as that escape, but to just
Yeah.
really be forced to like, what are people doing right now? Like, let me go be
Hmm.
social and let me go, interact and try new things. And so that was something that Belhaven really just taught me personally of just like really getting out of my comfort zone, really trying things, learning how to be bold, growing in my relationships with people. So that was
Yeah.
something that was just a huge theme of my time at Belhaven. Very much lifelong friends that I've gained from it.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, just everything and being circled back to the Lord is so sweet and something I'm so grateful for in my training because everything was just pulled back to God, just in rehearsals and classes and everything. So again, something I'm tremendously grateful for, and just that environment there, and even just like after leaving and just keeping up with some people, like really seeing how new freshmen have kept that going and stuff. So
Yeah.
very very
It's
sweet to
awesome.
see, and yeah, just gain such a wide knowledge of dance. So not just the performance aspect and the technique aspect,
Hmm.
but just all about dance kinesiology and productions and stage lighting and all that kind of stuff, that
Hmm.
how to teach,
Yeah.
how to choreograph, all of these things that I never would have realized I was passionate about had I not gone to
Hmm.
Belhaven. Like, oh, I actually really love to choreograph. I really love improv. I really love to teach.
Right.
Like, I had never realized I had a passion for it until I was kind of like, well, I have to do this for my degree. And then you get in the class and you're like, oh, wait, like maybe I really want to pursue this. Like, maybe this is something I really
Yeah.
love. So that is something I really love about dance programs in general, but especially Belhaven. Like, they challenge you that like you have to try stuff for your degree, and then you realize like, oh, maybe this is what I want to do. So definitely grateful
Exactly.
for Belhaven for that.
So cool. And do you feel like now that you are kind of get into the professional dance world and in a company and doing some more teaching and things like that, is there anything in particular that you feel like really prepared you for what you're doing now, I guess? Any
Yeah.
specific things?
Yes, I think you're really challenged to pick up choreography quickly. I think that was a big thing. Did a lot of like guest artist weeks where they bring in a guest artist and you had like 1 week long of rehearsals to learn a whole piece, and even just in regular
Yes.
classes and everything, just being challenged to pick up things really fast. And so that has definitely been a very, very valuable tool as a professional dancer to not have that be something I really worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing how to do that, I think Belhaven has really prepared me for. And then I think there's a lot, again, in the same vein of performing and performance, I learned a lot about quality of movement and like dynamic
That's
quality
so
of
good.
movement
Yes.
that before going and in high school, it kind of was like one dimensional. And then you kind of realize like all the different layers of like effort and quality and how does breath impact your movement, that really just helps you become like a more mature dancer and just a noticeable difference in how you dance and move and perform. And so that is something I am also very, very grateful for. Like, how can I do this step like 50 different ways if I just think about the quality and the effort behind it? That was
Right.
something I really loved, again, in the vein of performing. And then just so much about teaching that I think has been really valuable too. Because I also teach some dance classes, and so that has been really fun. And I felt very equipped to kind of go in and teach and
That's
explain
good.
movement and all that kind of stuff just from the opportunities I had at Belhaven.
That's awesome. Yeah, so good. And were you part of like dance ministry ensemble or doxa or any of those things?
Yeah. I did dance ministry ensemble for 3 years, and then the Belhaven University Dance Ensemble my senior year, and then I
So
did Doxa my junior year. Yeah, so I kind of got it all.
love it. So fun. We got those different experiences and so fun. Yes. And it's cool how that a lot of those things have continued for so long and getting to
Yes.
see kind of
Yeah.
the evolution a little bit over time, but how it still kind of maintains its heartbeat. And I
Yeah.
remember, you know, how you have like the little stuffed animal for Doxa that gets
Yes,
like
the animal of
passed
the
at
week.
the
Yeah.
animal of the week.
Yeah, it's so
So I feel like
sweet.
that started while I was in school there.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to say it might have been Carly, but I'm trying to remember now. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. Someone will have to fact check me, but but
That's
so
interesting.
fun.
Yeah.
A little tradition.
Yeah, I
Some
love that. I love the classes
encouragement.
so long. Yeah.
So sweet. So, as you look back on your time there, are there any moments that stand out or like projects or pieces that are like, I don't
Yeah.
know, a highlight during your time or funny
Yeah.
memories? Either way.
Yeah. Yeah. I, oh man, I was a part of so many incredible dances and pieces. There's so many talented, amazing faculty at Belhaven that are just amazing choreographers. So it was really fun learning from all of them in different rehearsals and classes. And then also very grateful for the way Belhaven brings in a lot of guest artists. That
Hmm.
is something that really gets you a lot of exposure in the dance world, and you just get connected with so many people. You learn a lot of different styles, and so you learn how to be more versatile. So that
Right.
is something I was very grateful for. The opportunities I got to work with some of them. So like Steve Rooks and Vincent Abigail
Yes.
Hardy and Sarah Matzke, I got to do pieces with all of them, and those were really
Cool.
really fun. Just to like see their different approaches to teaching and creating movement, how they integrated the Lord in their choreography, and what things are a little bit more like translated clearly, and when the piece more abstract, but still like you can always pull it back to God. And so it definitely taught me a lot, like as a performer, but also just like as somebody who loves to create and choreograph too. Just seeing their different, everybody, like the guest artists and the faculty, like their approach to choreography and creating has been like really inspiring to me. And I remember the piece I did with Sarah Matzke, she had us kind of break the fourth wall and go up to people and like pray over them verbally. So we kind of like
Wow.
we like broke the stage space, went like really up close to them, and then we were like praying over them specifically. Like we had specific chairs for each performance, and
Mm,
that was really cool to be like, how am I integrating like my voice and movement? Like, is that something that has to be separate? Like, can I use that? And definitely something I do a lot now of like use
that's
speaking while
cool.
dancing. So that really helped prepare me for that. And then
Whoa,
just
that's
being
awesome.
bold and like, I'm gonna go up right to you and pray for you. So that was a really cool experience performance wise. So yeah, I feel like I got just such a wonderful experience and exposure when it comes to performing and choreography and just trying all of these
Yeah.
new things from these like amazing, wonderful, talented people that I got to
Yes.
learn from. So yeah,
That is so
so grateful
cool.
for all this.
Yeah, and such
Yeah,
a gift to, yeah, get to work with different people, get to see different approaches. And it is
yeah,
amazing how unique each person is in their process, you know, as choreographer.
yeah,
That's been something fun when I get to, interview people is just asking, what is your creative process? And just hearing their
Yeah,
different
yeah.
answers is really fascinating and kind of fun to learn
Right.
from. So yeah, love that. So as you think about kind of your transition from college into professional dance / career life,
hmm
what have maybe been some of the biggest challenges that you've faced during that transition?
Yeah, I think learning how to be really independent has been something that's been a challenge. Because you're kind of like a baby adult when you're in college, like not really
Yeah.
officially like doing all these things to take care of
Yeah, it's a little
yourself and be
safe
fully
bubble in a way,
responsible.
like in a
Yes,
beautiful way. Yeah.
yes, totally a little safe bubble where you can just really lean on a lot of people and just really like, I just the amount of times where it's like you stay up till 4 writing a paper and you eat Doritos for breakfast. Like that's
Right.
a college experience. So learning
Uh,
how to be like, okay, like being more fully independent and really being self-motivated, I think has been one thing I've been thinking about a lot this year. If I am not required to do something for a class, like am I still going to be motivated to pursue it and do it if it's like good for, my career or even in my personal life. Like there's a lot of things that you just kind of have to do in college, and that really helped me grow a lot and that I just really leaned on. And so like outside of that, when I don't have people telling me like you have to, know your choreography to do well and that's going to affect the
right.
grade that you get at the end of the semester and like all those kind of things. Like am I still going to be responsible to go over that in my personal life and just make sure that I know what I'm doing if nobody is directly like telling me to. So that has been
Right.
something that's been interesting of like, oh, actually, like I need to make sure that I'm doing things. And then even just in the vein of like in college you focus so much on one thing or the other and it's really hard to have just a really like wide variety of things you're doing in your life. Like if you focus on hanging out with people and social things, and it's like, oh, I'm neglecting my paper, Or
Mm-hmm.
if you are really focused on doing your homework, then it's like, oh, I've really neglected like hanging out with people. It feels really one or the other. Like, and I know I felt that way a lot when I was in school. It's like I'm focusing on one thing this week, and that's gonna
Yeah.
be like I can't focus on everything at once because you're just so busy. So
Mm-hmm.
learning now, like, okay, how do I really be a whole, full person and not just like, I'm not just a dancer. I'm not a student anymore at all. So like,
Yeah.
how do I focus on dance, but also focus on, you know, my relationship with the Lord and spending time with God and community, like seeking out community because it's no longer like I'm eating every meal with my friends in the cafeteria. So like I've got to find community. How do I make sure I'm working outside of rehearsal or all of these things that like figuring out how to be a whole like multifaceted person where it's just like
Yes.
I'm not just focusing on, like being a student, being a dance major, being busy, but like figuring out how to focus on all of these little things and like just be an adult in the midst
Yes.
of all of that, I think has been a challenge because it's like I think my tendency after college has been to just be like, oh, I've got free time, let me just chill because I'm not used to having free time anymore. But then
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
like,
okay, yeah, yeah, it's
yeah.
been like very liberating, but then at the same time it's like learning how to be disciplined in that extra time that you now have.
Yes. Well, it's such
Yeah,
a good thing to be processing and kind of
yeah,
growing because I feel like I'm still working on that. So, it's kind of a lifelong journey in some ways. I feel
yeah.
like that self-discipline aspect, but finding like what are the rhythms that are helping us be healthy
hmm
humans and healthy adults.
Right.
So that's
Right.
super
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Have you found anything helpful for building community? Because I feel like that's an area that it
Yeah.
is a challenge, especially when you're coming from such a rich community like college, where it's kind of just built in, like you said, and you can walk down the hall and talk to somebody, or yeah, be in the
Right.
cafeteria
Right.
together or whatever. So yeah, any Any thoughts on that as you're kind of in
Yeah.
that season right now of really trying to build post-college community, I guess? Yeah.
Yeah, that has definitely been one of the hardest aspects of leaving Belhaven because, like you said, it's like you're kind of forced into community. And I think one of my tendencies that I've noticed, and one of the reasons why I wanted to go to school out of state, was because I do have a tendency to self-isolate, especially when I'm going through something or when something is hard. Uh, and I've realized that as much as I can be introverted and you need your alone time, I've realized that in an excessive amount, it's really not been healthy for me. And so
Mm,
challenging myself to seek out and find community has been really hard because I am somebody that's just like, well, I'll just go home. And then you're like, well, this isn't actually what I needed. Um,
yeah.
so I think one of the biggest things and one of the biggest lies that I've kind of had to overcome and stop believing is that when you start at Belhaven, it's like, well, everybody kind of needs friends and relationships. Nobody really knows anybody, because
Yeah.
you're with
Yeah.
this freshman class that's all seeking out community. And so coming into established community where maybe you're the only new person, it's easy to get into well, I need people, but nobody else really is looking for that from me. And so I think that's been something that has been like subconsciously ingrained in the way that I've like interacted with other people of just feeling like, oh, they no, like nobody is telling me this, but it's just been something
Yeah.
that's been hard to stop believing of like, well, I am desperate for community, but they're not looking for the same thing. And so that has been
Kind of
something where,
can hold us back.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and just feeling like that has definitely held me back a little bit from pursuing relationships and going out and doing things and getting out of my comfort zone in that way. Because I didn't realize that made it so much easier at Belhaven. But so I think just trying to like let go of that and not believe that and know that there is always something about you that like people are going to be drawn to, and like you never know how much people like need you in a new setting, especially if you're doing something the Lord has called you to and like he has
Mm-hmm.
placed you in it for a reason. Like what you bring, the just different aspects of your personality or the different gifts and things that you've been called to are going to be essential for where he's calling you to go. And so just
Right. That's
really
such a
learning
good
how to
point.
be,
Yeah.
yeah, learning how to be bold and like just completely be myself and just learn that like the right people are going to be brought to that and to not get in well, nobody needs me. But it's like, well, actually, if I'm where God called me to be, then I am needed here in some way. And so
That's
learning
beautiful.
how to be more bold and not let that insecurity and those lies hold me back has been something I think it's been an ongoing thing this year. I'm like, no, I can't get into that. Like, I'm still letting that go. But just, yeah, not letting any like internal insecurity or self doubt kind of hold me back from just approaching people and talking to people because again, you never know when somebody is like longing for that too, even if they've been a part of something for years and years. It might seem a little bit more established. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just feeling like, okay, like I'm supposed to be here, so let me like own that, has been something I've been
Yes.
learning.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. I think, such good wisdom that you're, recognizing that sometimes it's our mindset or lies that we're believing
Yeah.
or things like that that are actually one of the biggest things that are holding us back in those
Yeah.
situations. So cool. And it'll be exciting to see as you're there another year and kind of, how that continues to grow and develop in
Yeah.
your relationships and kind of community there. So,
Hmm.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so, speaking
Thank
of
you.
Enoch and kind of this season, have there been any projects that have been like really rewarding or kind of favorites from this year?
Yeah. Oh man, there's been so many. It has been such a fun year. And just really getting to try so many things. Like, we have done a lot of touring and traveling, which is something that like I have been really grateful for because I didn't really grow up doing a lot of traveling, so I was like, oh, this is like perfect. I get to do dance and dance
Yes.
ministry, but also like go around and do a lot of things. So that has been something that's
Yeah.
been really fun and exciting, staying with all the host homes and stuff. So that's been a really cool like overarching thing.
Cool.
Yeah, so many fun projects. lots of just worship sets and pieces that have been super rewarding to just do just for me personally, but then seeing like how those worship sets like impact different audiences has just been like so cool. Like the audience response from things has just been amazing to just be like, this is just so not about me, and it just doesn't need to be about me. And just seeing how God has like used dance for these people has been so rewarding. And then yeah,
I
just getting
love
to try
that.
anything. Like we did Narnia with a studio near Nashville, and so I got to be like a wolf, which was super fun and dramatic. I got to act and all that kind of stuff, which was so fun because I did so much like kind of abstract stuff at Belhaven, and I was like, wow, I haven't done like a character role in a really long time. So
Right.
that was really fun. Got me out of my comfort zone with that. Uh, and then yeah, lots of worship sets. So we have ballet based off of The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis. And so that's
Cool.
another kind of like getting to play a character with that has been really fun. And then, yeah, just a lot of like worship pieces and stuff. And so, yeah, it's been so fun. Learned so much choreography, and which has just
I
been
bet, yeah.
so,
Just soaking it all in, like
yeah, yeah,
sponge choreography.
yes. Yeah, just learning so much, which has been really rewarding and really fun to just try all of these new things and just like again, like when when you're in high school, it's like your one big performance, you spend all year doing this one thing, but then like this has been a really fun challenge of like being fully invested in everything, but like keep learning more things. So like that has been really cool. Yeah.
That's so awesome. I love what you said about like just realizing how much it's not about us, and what a
Yeah.
good reminder to have over and over. Like, you know what? It's
Yeah.
like what a beautiful thing that the Lord is
Hmm.
working through our dance or our art or whatever it may be that we're
Right.
doing. But that it's not so much about like our own image or like whatever
Yes.
accomplishments or something
Yes.
like that. So that's
Yeah.
very freeing, actually. So, so cool.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any other things that you feel like the Lord has just been growing you in this year?
Yeah,
Or, yeah,
I think just increased dependence on him, like constantly. And
that's
I think that's
beautiful.
just a lifelong theme, I guess, of just especially like at Belhaven and then into now, just like learning how to like give things to him and just be fully reliant on him, especially like, being in a new space. I think I expected some of the move and transition to be easy because I was like, well, I already did this once for Belhaven and I learned and grew so much from that, so it won't be as
Yeah.
hard this time. And it's like,
Right.
well, like, new things and new transitions and change and moving, like that's something that's always hard. And so learning how to just have this be a year where I'm just like giving myself grace and giving things back to the Lord because it
Mm,
has been so different from being at Belhaven again, where you're in that safety bubble, like you said, and then just like, oh, like I'm a fully an adult and I gotta learn how to take care of myself and all this kind of stuff. And
yeah.
so, yeah, just again, learning how to be really dependent on the Lord and how to give myself grace and to just know that every season is going to have its challenges and you're going to keep growing. And that doesn't mean like, if I grew a lot last year, but then this year is hard again, that doesn't mean I took 5 steps back. It's just like I'm being
Right.
challenged in new ways and I'm growing in new ways. And
Exactly.
so I'm now like at the end of the year now that things are kind of wrapping up. I'm like, well, I always want things to be hard and challenging in some way because I never want to be stagnant, at the point where I'm never learning
Mm,
anything.
that's
Yeah, just
good.
really like learning how to just be willing to learn and try things and willing to learn lessons from the Lord as well. It's just like, okay, God, like what can you teach me? What can you show me? So that has been a big thing.
Yeah. That's super, super good. I love, yeah, just hearing your processing and such good wisdom. And I feel like that could be a word of just like encouragement for current. I was going to ask you a word of encouragement for current students. That's an awesome one. But is
Yeah.
there anything else that you want to share, either current
Yeah.
or maybe upcoming college students that may be just about to get started?
Yeah. Again, I think it's okay for things to be hard. I think I had this belief, especially my freshman year. I remember calling my parents and being like, I thought I was supposed to do this, but it's so hard. Like, why
Yeah.
then I must have heard the Lord wrong then. Like, if it's this hard, and just learning that God calls us to hard things again so that we can grow and so that can be tried and purified and refined. And so I think, yeah, just being willing to be taught and to grow and
Yeah.
has been a huge thing and something I would really encourage for anybody who at like any sort of transition season, but I think especially for students, it's easy to be, yeah, just overwhelmed by it all and really caught up in, the perfection, getting, especially when you're getting grades too, like it's so,
Yeah.
you have
It's so
this
hard
like
to get out of
numerical
that.
value too,
Yeah.
like you're
Uh-huh.
dancing. And so it's really easy to get like into that perfectionism and into that like everything has to be so great all the time and I've got to prove myself and I've got to be better than people around me. And I think just being willing to just learn and being willing to learn from your peers as well and just like it's okay to not be the best and just
Yeah.
yeah, and it's okay for things to be hard. It's okay to not be good at everything. Like
Yeah,
that
it's
is
okay to be
something
a
too
beginner
where
at some stuff that too.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I had to really get over the fear of failing in front of other people at
Ooh,
Belhaven.
that's so
So
hard. Yeah.
I did stuff like I worked in the costume shop at Belhaven, which was so fun. But I was like, I don't really know how to sew, and I was making
Yeah.
mistakes all the time, and just like having to be like, hey, I messed this up. Can you help me fix it? Like learning how to just yeah, like it's okay for things to be hard. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. And it's just how you respond to those kind of things that really shows, who you are and how and your willingness to learn from them, I think. So yeah, just being willing to grow and try and make mistakes. It's so important.
Yes. And then kind of generally just to artists that are listening today, do you have just something on your heart that you want to share, kind of a final thought as we wrap up?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I expected it kind of, again, similar with all of that, but I expected to graduate and feel a little bit more like I had arrived and I kind of like knew what I was doing and I just had all these things, all these classes and this knowledge to pull from and, all this kind of stuff where I expected to feel more like here I am and I've done the hard work and now let me just reap the benefits of my hard work
Yeah.
and kind of been realizing that there's never truly a moment where it's like I've arrived and I've got nothing new to learn and I
Yeah.
am,
So true. So
I've
true.
got everything I need to know and I don't ever need to work on anything ever again and I can just kind of coast the rest of my
Yeah.
life. Like that is just not how life works. That is something I've been realizing. Like it is never too late to improve at performing and to stretch and get more flexible or learn a new trick or all of these
Yeah.
kinds of things. Improve as a teacher, and like so I think I remember there being a lot of conversation at Belhaven about being like a lifelong learner, a lifelong student. And I was like, what does that even mean? Like, come on. And I think that is something that I like. I really want to embrace that and hold
Yeah.
on to that and just
That's good.
be willing to keep learning and not ever again reach that point where I'm like, I've arrived, I've got nothing new to learn. And then you're stagnant and you're never growing or improving and you're unteachable, but just
Mm-hmm.
always being like, okay, well, why not work to improve my pirouettes even though I'm already kind of reached that, professional dancer level? Like, why not keep trying and working and growing and improving? Like, and it's also like never too late. Like, if you reach, 4 pirouettes by the time you're 40, like that's, not, there's no like
That'd be awesome.
timeline. Yeah, there's no
Uh-huh.
timeline where it's like, okay, now that I'm 22 and I've graduated and I'm like kind of reached that company level, it's like, well, I've got to know everything and I've got to be the best at everything. It's like, no, there's still time to
Yeah.
keep learning and growing. So that has been
Yes.
something that I had to learn kind of the hard way this year. Like, okay, like it's okay to still keep
Yes.
learning even though I've already graduated. So yeah.
Yeah, I think in some ways there's this sense that, oh, that'll be so nice when I can just like relax and not like have to work towards something or whatever. And then like if
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
bits of that, you start to realize like it's really not that fulfilling because you're just,
Right.
yeah, again, stagnant or whatever. So I think
Hmm.
we're kind of designed with that as part of what brings us joy is like being able
Yes.
to continue to
Yeah.
grow and learn. And yeah, so that's so good. I love that
Yeah.
encouragement. And yeah, so I love to ask everyone who comes on the podcast, what is one of your favorite things right now? And that could be literally anything. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be dance related, but it can
Mhm.
be if you want.
I think honestly one of my favorite things this year has been moving and just living in Tennessee in general. It is such a different like landscape and environment than I was used to, being from Florida and stuff and being near the beach. And so like
Hmm.
being near mountains and like I want to like hike and like do all these things and like all that kind of stuff has been really fun to explore and see and just be like, wow, there's like a huge mountain over there. Like I'm not used to that at
That's
all.
wild.
Like
Yeah,
there's
it's
these
so fun.
hills. Like yeah, and so that has been something that's been really fun, and I'm very excited for the summer to be like hiking and do all those things. That's my big summer goal. So yeah, that has
Yes.
definitely been one of my favorite things recently. The weather, it's already May and it's still been like so like such a nice breeze outside. I'm so used to it being like 100 degrees all the time. So yeah,
That's so
yeah,
fun.
definitely
It
one of the
is
things
nice
I
to,
love.
yeah, experiencing different climates and different,
Yeah,
like you said, kind of the, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but the mountains and all the fun things.
yeah,
Yeah, I love it so much. You mentioned it's May. So whenever we're recording this, I think we just passed Belhaven's graduation for this year.
yes,
So
yeah,
congratulations to all the graduates. This will probably come out in the
yes,
summer sometime, but
yeah,
congratulations. So cool. And I know you
yeah,
know so many of the people
yes,
graduating, well, probably all of them
yes,
because you were there,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and are still
yeah,
really connected and with friends there and stuff. So,
yeah.
so,
So
so
proud of them
cool.
all. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. So amazing. Yeah. Do you have any travel plans this summer? Or are you going to be pretty much hanging in
Yeah,
Tennessee?
yeah. I actually so again, one of the things I've been super grateful for Enoch is the traveling and just performing in the most like random places and stuff. And
Yes.
so, kind of in that same vein, I'm going to Europe in July with Enoch to dance in France and in Belgium. So that is something I'm
So,
very very excited for because I've never ever been out of the country, and so again, it's just been like these new opportunities to try things I've always wanted to do. I'm so grateful for this year.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's so
I'm going to
exciting.
France and
Super
Belgium,
fun.
doing some
Yeah,
dance
well,
ministry.
have an incredible trip. That sounds amazing. Can't wait to like see pictures and hear about it afterwards and stuff.
Yeah,
It's fun following
yeah,
along with you guys on Instagram. And
yeah.
I think Enoch Contemporary Ballet is definitely on Instagram, maybe on Facebook.
Yes,
Okay, cool.
yes, I think both. Yeah,
Awesome. And then what's the best way for people to connect with you or get to say
yeah,
hey, that kind of thing if they're interested?
yeah. Probably Instagram as well.
Okay, cool.
Goldie likes to dance is my Instagram
Oh, I
handle.
love that. That's so cute. So fun.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like you guys, so it's so funny being like y'all's generation, but anyway, like y'all grew
yeah.
up probably more in the world of Instagram, which is really
Oh
fun.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
so I love all the fun handles and even
yeah.
just like Rachel Caldwell or whatever, but I love it.
Right.
Super cute.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
fun. Well, Goldie, this has been such a fun
Yeah.
like experience just getting to hang out with you, get to know you a little bit more, and I love what the Lord is doing in and through you, and just so beautiful to watch, and such a gift to get to know you and be a friend and just be connected.
Yeah.
So thank you for spending the time with us and getting to share your journey.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Thank you all so much for listening to the Creative Impact Podcast. The music for the show was produced by Michael Cash. Until next time, remember that you were designed to create. You were made to inspire. Continue living with purpose and making an impact. I'll see you next time, friends.